Your dog can smell that you're sad, not in a vague, fuzzy way, in a literal, chemical, detectable from across the room way. When you cry, your body releases stress hormones. Those hormones have a smell, and your dog's nose, 10,000 times more sensitive than yours, picks it up instantly. But it doesn't stop at scent. Your dog is also listening to your voice, the quiver, the slower pace, the low pitch when you're falling apart. Your dog hears all of it, and then it does something remarkable. It crosses the room. It presses against you. Scientists wanted to know, is that love or is it just a very well-trained habit? Researchers at the University of Naples tested this directly. They collected sweat samples from humans experiencing fear and happiness. Then they let dogs smell those samples. The dogs that sniffed the fear, sweat showed measurable stress themselves. Higher heart rates, more stress behaviors, more seeking their owners. The scent of human distress transferred distress chemically into the dog. A separate study measured cortisol, the stress hormone, in both dogs and their owners. Cortisol is what floods your body when you're overwhelmed, grieving, or afraid. When your cortisol rises, your dog's cortisol often rises with it. Their stress systems are actually synchronized with yours. This isn't guesswork. It's been replicated across multiple labs and dozens of dog breeds. Researchers at Goldsmiths, University of London, also found something striking. When a stranger or the dog's owner pretended to cry, most dogs approached them, but they didn't approach a person who was just humming. The dogs were responding specifically to distress, not just to sounds. And when they approached the crying person, most of them did so in a submissive, comforting posture, head down, gentle, almost careful. This isn't a dog begging for attention. This is a dog offering something. The question is, how does it know? How does a dog connect your chemical state to your emotional state and then decide what to do about it? The answer lives inside your dog's nose, ears, and a surprisingly sophisticated brain. Start with the nose. A dog's nose has roughly 300 million olfactory receptors. Yours has about 6 million. That difference isn't just quantity, it's what they can detect. When cortisol, your stress hormone, rises in your blood, it changes your sweat. It changes your breath. It even changes the air immediately around you. Your dog detects that shift, often before you've even consciously registered that you're upset. This is why your dog sometimes finds you before you've cried a single tear. It's reading your chemistry. Now add sound. Dogs process emotional tone in voices the same way humans do, using the right side of the brain. When a human voice drops in pitch and slows down, dogs' brains register it as emotionally significant. Studies using EEG, a way to measure brainwave activity, show that dogs' left ears prick up more for distressing sounds. The left ear feeds into the right brain, the hemisphere that handles emotional threat detection. Your crying voice literally activates the threat detection system in your dog's brain. But it's not processed as danger, it's processed as a need, and the dog's body responds to that need. Here's where oxytocin enters. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. It's released during hugs, during nursing, during moments of deep trust. When your dog approaches you and makes eye contact, both of your oxytocin levels rise, not just yours, your dog's too. A 2015 study by Nagasawa and colleagues published in Science found that just 30 minutes of mutual gazing raised oxytocin in both dogs and their owners. This is the same hormonal loop that bonds human mothers to their babies. Your dog is running that loop with you every time it locks eyes with you when you're hurting, and the comfort it provides is measurable. Studies show that petting a dog lowers cortisol levels in humans within minutes, lowers blood pressure, slows the breath. The dog doesn't just detect your sadness, it actively helps regulate it. Your dog is, in the most literal biological sense, a co-regulator of your nervous system. But this raises a harder question. Does your dog know it's helping you? Or is it simply reacting to your distress, pulled toward you by instinct, the same way a compass needle swings north? Here's what the science actually says. And it's more complicated than either answer. Dogs almost certainly do not think about your feelings the way another human would. They don't construct a narrative. They don't think, my person is grieving over a loss. But here's the twist. That doesn't mean they don't care. Research by Custance and Mayer at Goldsmiths found that dogs were more likely to approach a crying stranger than a humming stranger. And crucially, they didn't approach the stranger to investigate the noise. They approached to make contact. That's a meaningful distinction. Now, here's where owners often get it wrong. You might look at your dog's response to your sadness and call it empathy. And you wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't be completely right either. True empathy, in the human sense, requires something called theory of mind. Theory of mind means you understand that someone else has an inner experience different from yours. Dogs show limited evidence of this. What dogs do have is something scientists call emotional contagion. Emotional contagion means your feeling becomes their feeling, automatically, physically, without reasoning. Your sadness lands in their body, and their response, coming to you, pressing against you, is driven by that felt experience. It's real. It's just not the same shape as human empathy. And there's one more thing owners consistently misread: the guilty look. When your dog sees you upset and gives you that wide-eyed, ears-down look, that's not guilt. That's emotional contagion plus appeasement. The dog is absorbing your stress and trying to reduce tension. It doesn't know what it did wrong. It knows you're upset and it wants the upset to stop. For both of you. Studies by Alexandra Horowitz at Barnard College confirmed this. The guilt look appears whether or not the dog misbehaved, as long as the owner looks displeased. Your displeasure is the trigger, not their conscience. What looks like guilt is actually your dog responding to your emotional state, which is exactly what this whole video is about. Your dog is an emotional mirror, finely tuned to your chemistry, your voice, your posture. It reads you more accurately than most humans in your life do. And it responds, not with words, not with reasoning, but with presence. So the next time your dog crosses the room and presses against you on a hard day, you're not imagining it. Something real is happening. Your dog picked up the chemical signature of your stress before you consciously felt it. It heard the emotional weight in your breathing. Its stress system synchronized with yours, and then it chose, with whatever version of intention a dog possesses, to come to you. Not for a treat, not because it was trained to, but because somewhere in the overlap between instinct and bond, it felt your pain, and it wanted to be near it. That's not nothing. That might be one of the most ancient and honest forms of care that exists. Your dog has been perfecting this for 15,000 years. Tonight, when it looks at you, really looks at you, it sees more than you might think.